Hello, interwebs. I am Sebastian from investcomics.com, and this is the secret lair that's not a secret at all in the back of Famous Faces and Funnies and Get Your Fun On. You can see all the Get Your Fun On games. There's a shopping cart full of IBC cream soda over there. Really? Does it get better than this? It doesn't. It doesn't. Alright, here's a stack of 2 weeks. Granted, 1 week was just 4 books that I read because there was almost nothing came out for the Christmas week. But let's dive into this. Alright. Forever Evil, Justice League Dark, number 26. I really wanted to read this primarily because the only appearance we had of the Sea King was he dropped dead. How is he not dead over here and looking all, like 90s Aquaman? Well, I'll give you a hint. If you don't like spoilers, pause this or skip in 3, 2. It's Deadman. Deadman is in there. And Constantine's a prick and locks him in because he can use this form. He's like, hey, we need this guy. So he kind of locks him in after Deadman literally helped save their team. Deadman is one of the missing Justice League Darkers that Constantine put together a new Justice League Dark to go save. But along the way, they get so screwed by Blight that Deadman of the Justice League Dark is missing. New Justice League Dark goes to save old Justice League Dark. Gets in worse trouble than original Justice League Dark. Deadman of Justice League Dark saves whole new Justice League Dark. It's like a saving snake eating its own tail kind of thing.
Ouroboros.
You can get all the Ouroboros on us if you want, but then I have to start quoting Red Dwarf episodes and Lister's origin under a pool table, and we don't need me to go there. So, we do. Just watch Red Dwarf. Everyone, watch it. Watch it, man. It's a great show. You should watch it. You should totally smeg and watch it. Anywho, is good. Is really good. I'm not... That Blight story is okay. I like it as a Justice League Dark story. I don't like it as... When they do crossovers like Forever Evil, and then they have their little spin-off crossovers that are related but aren't really related to the main story, that always kind of meh for me. But I like Justice League Dark, and it's, DeMatteis. I like DeMatteis. So, es très bien. Red Lanterns. Somebody dies. Possibly, you could argue, easily the most disposable of the current Red Lanterns team, but nonetheless, he dies in a touching way. You actually have a way, Charles Soule, man, he can have Red Lanterns get emotional and still be Red Lanterns. They're still raging. Zox is the shit, he's clearly... he's a fan favorite anyway, but he's clearly a Charles Soule favorite. But, yeah, this book, aside from just, my undying fanboy / acolyte level devotion of Charles Soule, this book greatly improved once they started. The Red Lanterns were just all, and there's really only so much you can write with that. Giving them faceted personalities where they're still angry, but there's more to them than just blinding rage. While on the one hand you would think that takes away from the core essence of the Red Lanterns, it's needed. They're angry for reasons, and Charles Soule really gets into that. He gets into what they're not just blindly angry, and you can be angry over different things. And one of the Lanterns makes a supreme sacrifice, and while the rest of them they're helpless. They can't really access their rage, and in the end, it's explained to them. Well, we were all mad at this. How come he wasn't mad at this? He was mad at that, and that gave him. His rage was different, and he was able to be mad at a different situation that the rest of them were denied their rage on, and it really worked well. And it's just really, really read Red Lanterns. Words I never thought I'd say. Teen Titans number 26.
Just move on.
I like the art. Who drew this? Tyler Kirkham. Tyler Kirkham and Art Thieber, with some Dan Green in there. So really, It's like an artist medley of artists I like. So that's good. Um, I want to say there are some moments out, and there are a couple, but they're ruined by the fact that there are a couple moments where you've got fake Superboy, all right? You've got the John Kent Superboy in here, and he has a couple of moments. He doesn't have a lot of moments, but he has a couple of moments that would have worked great if he was the real Superboy. But because now we know it's all just an act, it's kind of meh. So, but I will say this. The Kid Flash origin that we finally get does give the Superboy origin, if you'll pardon the pun, a run for its money on most disturbed, or not disturbed, most distorted origin of a. Really, the problem with this book is the Teen Titans should be fun. These are sidekicks. They're supposed to be sidekicks of the original heroes. When you take a Teen Titans book and you sever all the ties that these characters have with their actual heroes, you lose the heart of who of what this is about. Then when you take all the fun out of it and just make it constant, dark, 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 you lose the other half. So basically, everything that made Teen Titans great and enjoyable in any incarnation you've had, and it could be your least favorite to your most favorite prior incarnation of Teen Titans, all of that has been stripped from this, and forget the revamp of the characters and the new 50, forget all of that, and just go to the fact that this book doesn't offer really any heart, anything to enjoy. It's just this constant and therefore it becomes hard. And when you couple that with the fact that these characters are basically dark Elseworld versions of themselves, it's really hard to connect on any level and care about what happens to these characters. At this point, I'm not even buying the book. I'm just reading it for the reviews and on the desperate hope that something happens that makes it worth buying again, because I love who these characters are supposed to be. I don't even say who they were. I could love these characters. You could do stuff with these characters as they are in here. And there have been moments, usually not in this book though, usually as they're used by other people. Rachel Rising, number 22, so damn good. We get a relook at an origin part that we'd seen already, but with a new light. Terry Moore is great at never letting you fully know what's happening, but not in like a, what the hell is happening, but in a, oh my god, like actual successful surprise twist. What? This is so good. Buy the trades, buy the issues, read this, have your jaw drop onto the floor. Superman Unchained, number 5. I liked number 1 and 2. Number 3 and 4 I thought were pretty damn good. Number 5, I don't know. It's. I like where it's headed. I think if I'm right. I like this guy, this Wraith guy. Despite the fact that he's what I thought I wasn't gonna like. It's Scott Snyder, so it's good. It's just I want when the story arc is over, I'm hoping that Scott Snyder does what I think Scott Snyder really does best, which are those moments books, and I'd like to see like a standalone or one of those just little moments that Scott Snyder does so well, where you get the instead of all this stuff happening, those stories that are more this is who the character is. And because Superman in the New 52 hasn't had enough of those in any of the books. This is the best quote unquote solo Superman book. There's a bunch of other people in there, but this is the best of the solo Superman books by far. I think Superman Wonder Woman is probably the best Superman book there is at the moment. But this is good, but I'm still looking for that great that I know that Scott Snyder and Jim Lee should equal. How's that? Clone number 13. Holy crap, this book. This is the greatest TV show that isn't on TV. That's really the best way to put that. This, I don't know, AMC, Showtime, HBO level greatness in comic book form, to the point where it's each issue is not, they're not issues, they're episodes, and the art is Juan Jose Rip is so. This book, I don't have words to tell you how good this is, and again, I feel this falls into one of those. It's kind of a cop out to say on a review show, but let's face it, my reviews are really more because yes, I am also a writer. I have a master's degree in English. I teach English, but really, I don't consider myself a critic. I'm really more here to talk about books, tell you what, because no matter how much of a learned critique you get from a professional critic, it's still just their opinion, and normally a lot of flowery words to make their opinion sound smarter and or more professional. My opinion is not smart or professional. My opinion is based on, the books I hate, this may be your favorite book. Books I love, you may hate this. I don't know what to tell you. But I just try and tell you what I think of the books, and hopefully you see a book that you've never heard of before or hadn't read and say, I'll give that a shot. Or you see a book that you love and I'm tearing it apart and you say, I'm going to get on that website, Invest Comics, and I'm going to tell that guy he's a jerk. And that's fine too. We haven't had a lot of those since Sean left. We could use some.
Coincidence?
But Clone, so freaking good. Bounce, I'm behind on because my copy got given to somebody else because they ran out and my name comes last in the list of people on the pull list for it. So alphabetically, I got bounced. See what I did? Artwork, this book is gorgeous. This book often makes me feel stupid. It's a superhero book, but it's not a superhero book. There are superheroes. You look at this cover and you think, okay, superhero. No, this is, it's a lot more heady, and there's more behind the scenes kind of espionage-y stuff going on in a world that has, well, there's two worlds. One has superheroes, one doesn't, but they're starting to bleed through, and our main character isn't even 100% certain what world he belongs in. And it falls in, when I review Pretty Deadly, I say that it's really good, but I know I'm not getting everything that's happening. I know the book is smarter than me. Or, who knows? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I'm thinking it's smarter and it's really dumber than I'm thinking, and I'm looking for stuff that isn't it. But either way, there's stuff going on here I'm not getting, and I'm willing to believe I'm the dumb one and not the book, because while I have never met Joe Casey, I have met me. And with the information I have from not knowing him and from knowing me, I'm willing to believe I'm the dumb one. But how can you be dumb? You just said you had a master's. Don't question me, Internet, in my own voice. That's just weird. Aquaman number 26 was good, not great. I think mostly I like the Pelletier art. I'm going to give it another couple issues, but I may be jumping ship in the post-Jeff Johns world. I don't know. Cryptozoic Man. First off, I had no idea what the hell was going on because, for whatever reason, Dynamite never sent me 1 and 2 with their with all their copies of review books. They just randomly sent me number 3. But they knew what they were doing, not sending me 1 and 2, because apparently I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, this is I don't like it. It seems like a whole lot of unnecessary mess. And then I realized these are those guys. This is the comic book men. And it all made sense to me why that's clearly not in any danger of becoming on my favorites list. George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones. The comic continues to be so good and so well done, and continues to surprise me every time an issue comes out. I am surprised by how far back into the first book it still is. And, it's like, on the one hand, you think, oh, you've read the books, you've seen the movie, you've seen the TV series. how how can you do this? Because at this point, it's so far behind that it's reminding me of little details that I'd forgotten. Because this is so far back, and it's leading to the powerful sad. Because let's just say Ned's in a dungeon and his head is still attached to his shoulders. So next issue or the one after that are probably not going to go his way so good. And if I just spoiled Game of Thrones for you, screw it. Where the hell have you been? Lords of Mars #6. Tarzan and John Carter versus the Therns. It's good. When they make the Red Martians red, they go all out. They're like Crimson Martians in here. They make Sinestro look a dull pink. They're that red, which is fine. I like it because most of the time they keep coloring Dejathoris to just look, run-of-the-mill European Caucasian, and I want my Red Martians to be red. And the Green Martians are for some reason missing their tusks and have like little antennas. That for some reason that threw me more than anything else. But I was happy to have a red Dejathoris. So, a little yin with my yang, I suppose. Is good. John Carter gets to be the main warlord of Mars here because Tarzan, he's got the boo-boo. But it wraps this up nicely. I don't know if that's the end of this. No, it mustn't be because it says the end with a question mark. So I don't know if there are further issues of this, or if they'll do like Warlord of Mars, start it over again, and like they do sometimes as miniseries. But either way, yeah, I dig this. Legendary, Derry, like it's like it's done. This was good. I know Dynamite is famous for once they get their hands on a property, they make 50 million versions of it. But this is Bill Willingham doing a steampunk world with all the their main their main licensed characters. So you've got Vampirella and Green Hornet on a date at Vampirella's nightclub in this like steampunk when Magna the sister shows up saying that her sister is missing, and who of course is her sister? It's Red Sonja. So there's a steampunk missing Red Sonja, while steampunk Red Sonja's sister and steampunk Vampirella and Green Hornet are taking the case, and gradually we'll meet the rest of them. It's like a steampunk detective story with alternate steampunky versions of characters you know and love, and it was really, really, really good. I expected it to be okay to. I had some hope because it's Bill Willingham. I've been on board that ship since Elementals, but it was a lot better than I had dared to hope. Because when they do steampunk versions of things, some of them are really good, most of them are okay, and some of them are just horrible because sometimes people just add extra little gear things and say, look, it's steampunk, and miss, the steampunkery. This has a very noir feel, but the steampunk background is there and will most likely be delved into further and further as they go. And it's just refreshing because everything you need to know for this, this is this world, and everything you need to know is given to you. So it's a nice little... little Ernie, a little vampy. The sad news is Art Baltazar's influence on this goes only as far as the cover. But yeah, the littles are sweeping the nation. You got Itty Bitty Hellboy, Tiny Titans, you get all those Scotty Young, little baby versions of covers. These were hysterical. Little Ernie with his little smiley, instead of being his evil bad influence, is like a Jiminy Cricket-esque, highly frustrated conscience trying to keep awful Ernie. He's not quite evil yet. From doing all the wrong things, but he tries. He really tries to do the wrong thing. They got little games in here. This one's by Roger Landridge, so you already know that one's awesome. And then this one was by Eric Troutman wrote it, and Agnes Garbowska did the art. The art was really cute. There's a bottom running thing that was actually, I liked it even better than the main story. It's just little a little strip at the bottom of Pantha, Pantha, the character in this is actually just a cat who used to be the actual Egyptian goddess. It's just, once a powerful goddess in ancient Egypt, she now fights the forces of darkness in the modern world. Some call her Sekhmet, others just say, "Here, kitty, kitty." But she prowls the night as Pantha, and basically, she is just Vampy's cat, and she is. Imagine owning a cat. Okay, take every cat you've ever met, and their distinct personalities and ability to destroy pretty much anything while having an aloof indifference. Now make that cat an actual goddess. And have it owned by a tiny little vampire. Yes, it's chaos. The story itself is good, but that strip underneath cracked me up. Superior Foes of Spider-Man, number 7. This book is awesome, and this is possibly the best issue of a great series. It focuses on the new Beetle, who is, of course, she has a famous villainous father. Jana's dad is Tombstone, who really didn't want her to be a supervillain. He wanted her to be a legal villain, otherwise known as a lawyer, who he says you have the ability to basically steal from anybody, and the best part is they can never arrest you for it. He's like, he goes, but no, I don't want you dressing in, getting the crap kicked out of you by some smart in pajamas. He goes, no. And, but this is her determination. That's what she wants to be. And it's really, really good. From her evil beginnings, suckering other kids at a birthday party. She distracts the kid with a fake gift. Look out! This is for me. And the president says, "Look out the window! Look out the window! There's a puppy with a bow on it." Everyone goes to look at the puppy. She takes all the presents and the cake, throws it in the back of her dad's limo, and then when they're all like, "What?" she whistles and the dog comes too. It's brilliant. Best way to describe this particular issue, not the whole series, though it's a good enough way, is if you like Hawkeye, the current Remender Hawkeye, and Mark Waid's Daredevil, then you will like. This issue has more of a tie to, but it fits in that same. It's not the same take on your typical superhero, or in this case, supervillain book. It's taking everything you've known and just kind of skewed it a little. So it still fits, works all nice in main continuity, but it's not handled just like yet another super book, so that's good. Superman was not good. Lois is in a coma, but she knows everything and knows who Clark is, and that will probably end with next issue, because they say when she wakes up, she's like, yeah, I'm going to write that story. But you do get some of the best Lois and Clark moments in the New 52. They're just not going to count down the line, and there were moments in this that were really good, but there was nothing that added up to it didn't have it the whole way through. It was inconsistent. I did not realize till just now that it was Scott Lobdell, so I will say this is one of the stronger things Lobdell's done on Superman or in the New 52. But again, he's got moments, but no follow through. Forever Evil Argus. I think we've got both Dr. Lights. I think we have a potential origin for the good guy, Dr. Light, the good girl, Dr. Light, and, the bad guy getting to be a bad guy, but he's dead. No, he's like an evil the Ray now. He's like actual Light, just evil, and getting recruited by organizations I don't know who are. I really like the way they handle. I mean, she's not the one I knew and loved from old time Firestorm, but I really like the way they handle, as New 52 things go, I like the way they handle Killer Frost. So yeah, this was pretty good. The Saviors, number 1, really, really good. This book is hysterical. It's black and white, so you can get over yourself. But there's this guy who thinks weird stuff is going on, and he eventually finds out that there's an actual alien takeover. Of course, nobody believes him, and the aliens are onto him, and there's a group of people out there who believe in this and are helping to stop it. But it's like a hard luck X-Files. You know, no government backing. You know the aliens are out there. The aliens know you know. And now it's just half save the world, half save your own ass. Go. And it's really, really good. Avengers Rogue Planet. It's like a future Iron Man related to Tony, but not Tony, who comes back to save things. I don't. I keep trying to really like the Hickman Avengers. I like the art. I like what I understand of the concepts, but it always just loses me, and this one lost me as well. Forever Evil #4. So good. And then Batman with the yellow ring and powering, thinking he's badass, but then I can spoil this because the hell with you. You already knew it's coming. It's been in the solicits, and if you're friends with Ethan Van Sciver on Facebook, he's been drawing the cover to issue #5, one of the variant covers, all week and posting it, and it's Sinestro versus Power Ring. It's so fun to root for bad guys versus bad guys because bad guys will fight in ways that good guys won't. So bad guys versus bad guys, this is just awesome. And I'm dying to see which bad guys win for when the superheroes get back and go, well, the good guys are back. Oh, the bad guys are good guys? How's it? Wait, what? You're sitting in my chair kind of deal. Justice League #26 works with that. I'm liking Forever Evil. I'm sorry, I don't know. There's a great moment. This was from last week, so I have to try and remember some stuff. But there's a great moment. There are a lot of great moments in here. You get some very human moments from the machine half Grid, I think he calls himself. The machine half of what the hell is it? Cyborg that kicked out the human half, and now all it wants to do is feel something, and it knows a lot more than either side. You know, it knows what both sides are doing, and it doesn't. It's not interfering. It really just wants to observe all this and try. It wants to be alive, and it's kind of heartbreaking. But there's a great moment of understanding between B-Zero, who now refers to himself as Bizarro, and what do you call it? And Lex, I think that's in here actually. Yeah. Oh my God. There are so many. I hate to use this term, but there's so many feels in this story. Talon #14 makes me sad because the series is coming to an end, and I think this is the last of the James Tynion run on this. The next little bit focuses on the Talon of the 1920s. Which should still be good, but I like this. But it does set up for the fact that Talon is going to be part of that Batman Weekly series, and it does set it up where even though Batman hasn't trusted him for being a Talon, based on his redemption of himself. Yeah, all right. Again, if you don't like spoilers, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you ready? Yeah. Calvin Rose wakes up from his after his beating this, and yeah, he's now part of Batman Inc. He's been recruited into the bigger Bat universe. Oh yeah, Talon with a purpose. Love it. Jonah Hex #26 is so good. This series is so good. And for those of you who have a problem with Jonah Hex being in the modern DCU, I say suck it. Because one, it's great, and two, this gives such we've had Constantine and Batman. We're gonna get Superman. We had Swamp Thing in this. Basically, what this does is until he finds a way home, this gives Palmiotti and Gray carte blanche to write basically any and all characters in the New 52. And Palmiotti and Gray are two people who can write any character. And you've gotten some of the best. I can't wait to see what they do with Superman, because I've loved their Constantine, I loved their Batman, I loved their Booster Gold, I love their Swamp Thing. This is an excuse for Palmiotti and Gray to write some of the best characterizations for the New 52 universe, and nobody's looking. There are people all over the internet, oh, this character sucks, or this book sucks. just read the book that's really, really good. Read it. And then you can quit, but you can go online and actually post. You know what I really liked? I liked All-Star Western. It's good. And finally, from Titan Books, the hardcover collection of Number Cruncher from, I know I'm going to say, Cy Spurrier and P.J. Holden. Oh my God, this is so good. And you know it's good when this takes one thing that I was never a big fan of him out. It takes the concept of like an afterlife and spirituality, though it makes sure there's nothing spiritual about it. But it replaces it with the one thing I truly, truly hate in this life. Math. They took religion and replaced it with math. That's like, for me, that's like out of the frying pan and into the fire. But they made it work, and they even wrote it in such a way that I, with my limited ability to grasp either concept, was able to follow the entire concept. And I loved this book. There's a guy who is in love, and he dies. And he finds out there is no God as we know it. There is an equation for life, and there is literally a karmic accountant who just does the, and then you just get cycled back in. You're going to get reborn. But he makes a deal, and the accountant needs people to help police the system. And the only way to get out of policing the system is if you can get a replacement. So he makes a deal with one of the agents, who happens to be named Bastard Zane. So that lets you know that he's not the nicest agent. But he finds a loophole in the system and works it. And it's you know those movies, you know, like every movie nowadays has to do that, and at the end here's the twist, but you see the twist coming. This, you know, there's a twist coming. There have been hints all throughout. Even Bastard Zane sees the hints, but has no idea. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what he's up to with this. I know what he's doing here and here, but he does these little things, and then it all comes together in this big picture, this big, beautiful equation that, wow, it's a religion story without religion. It's a love story without love. It's a mystery without a mystery, but with some serious mysterious goings on. And it's a super intelligent Jason Statham story, because in my head it's not a perfect analog for Bastard Zane, but in my head it just made it easier to read it in that voice. You know, that I'm Jeff Chelios, that kind of, you know. This is the day I die. You know, so it's got like, it goes back and forth between black and white and color depending on what's happening. It's so good. Only $19.99 for the hardcover. Get it. It's a beautiful book. It's super well done. Even the afterword, which I read this morning. Where are you, afterward? Number for Talking to God. Is that it? Okay, yeah. There's an afterword in here that is the author's notes. Just as brilliant, and yet he downplays it's like the most humble, I'm smarter than you ever. Really, really good. Check that out. And that's it. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death with my rambling this week. We should have a few guests coming in for the next, probably not, I don't know about the next show, but as we get closer to the Space Coast Geek Fest, we will have them in here to torment me and to talk about their show. And I say, I'm a big fan of the idea of the show, and I know you guys are a big fan of people tormenting me, so best of both worlds. See you, interwebs.